Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. There is a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that it's good to review. It's a big lesson in life. The Mishnah says, Perik Beis, Mishnah Beis, Rabbi Gamaliel benoish Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi Omer. Rabbi Gamaliel, the son of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, says, Yafa Talmud Torah im derech eretz. It's best if you study. Besides just studying all the time, you should do derech eretz. Derech eretz means do work as the way of the world is, to work. Sheyegias shneim, because if you toil in both of them, if you toil in Torah and you work hard to make a living, mashkachas avein, that will make you stay away from sin. How important is work? V'chol Torah she'ein ima malacha, any studying that you don't combine with also having a job. Seifa betela, the end is, God forbid, the Torah leaves you because the geireres arvain, and it leads to doing sin. And the Mefarshim say, if a person is sitting and learning all day and he has no means of how to support himself, how is he going to survive? God forbid, it might lead to cheat, to steal. So you got to find a way. The Mishnah says, Torah needs malacha. Torah needs derech eretz. And the malacha, the yegia shneim, by doing both of them, working, toiling hard in both of them, mashkachas avein. Now, last perek, a perek earlier, it says, which malacha should you choose? So it says, the last perek says, of ahoivas malacha, you should love working, but not any malacha. There are some things that you shouldn't choose to do. And there's actually the Gemara in Pesachim, the Gemara in Kedushin says which malachos, which jobs pasnished or sepasnish because of tznius or it's very dirty. But one thing the Mishnah says before is ahoivas malacha usnoa sarabonus, hate to be a leader, a rav. Why? So the Mefarshim explain, because obviously anybody who's in the position of a leader always comes along with a streak of arrogance, etc., etc. But I saw a beautiful pshat that he says like this. It doesn't make sense. If everybody's going to have a hoivas and malacha, and nobody's going to be a rav, nobody's going to do rabbanus, leadership, who's going to tell the people what's right and what's wrong? So one of the mefarshim learns pshat. What does a hoivas and malacha mean? What type of malacha is constantly work hard on the rabbanus in such a way that it should be so fluent and so common amongst everybody that you won't have to show leadership and be strict on anybody. It should be common practice by everybody. But that's the ahoivas and malacha and snoras rabbanos. Let's get to this mishnah, that we need Torah in malacha, and if not, seifa betela. So the Rebbe brings from Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Baditchev, what is the malacha of Torah? There is the Torah, the studying Torah, and the malacha of Torah is the mitzvah of ahavta l'reach kamocha. Because to fulfill the mitzvah of ahavta l'reach kamocha, it's a hard work. It's malacha. Others say that kol Torah she'eini malacha is actually both about the Torah. About the Torah means if you just study and take life easy, the studying, it's never going to last. Sefer b'teila. Kol Torah, any studying of Torah that you don't harava, it's not like a hard job. You don't work hard to acquire the knowledge of Torah. You just let it flow, then you should know it's Sefer b'teila. But again, those are both Hasidic pshat lach. The literal pshat is that a person cannot survive in the like Rav Shimon bar Yochai in a cave somewhere in the Kav Shel Charuvim with Boxer. We're a simple people. We need to make a living, and to make a living, you got to have a job. And the Mishnah says, "Kol Torah she'eini malacha sefer b'teila." So I'm going to list what I find different svarim that there amongst Chazal, amongst the Shas, we find different Tanoim and different Amayroim that had jobs, and it's a nice thing to go through the different jobs, and you'll see how the great Tanoim and great Amayroim worked hard. We all know about. When it comes to Hilchas Shabbos, the Alter Rebbe quotes from the Gemara Masechta Shabbos and Masechta Kedushin that the Amayroim himself would clean the fish, would prepare the food, that type of stuff. But as a job, here's your list. The Gemara in Shabbos says that Rab Abin was a carpenter. For a living, he was a carpenter. Rab Eliezer, the Yerushalmi in Bracha says, Rabbi Eliezer used to shear sheep for its wool for a living. Rabbi Ami was a doctor, and we don't have to go too far. We know the Rambam who wrote Mishnah Torah, amazing how much writing of Torah he wrote. He had a job as a doctor. Rabbi Yehuda, the Gemara in Baba Basra says, he was a tailor. Rabbi Yehuda, the Gemara in Chulin says, would travel from place to place selling perfume, besamim, which in another Gemara it actually says that's not a job that an edel of man should have, because the people buying perfume are not necessarily male and not necessarily always the most modest women. Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi would be a mover, what we call today owning a moving company. He would schlep a warehouse from place to place, boxes, barrels. That's Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi, the great Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi. Hillel, we know the famous story of Hillel, where he fell on top of the roof to hear his teachers in the snowstorm, to hear their shear. Hillel, for a living, would chop wood. Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya was a blacksmith. Rabbi Yeshua Agarsi used to grind beans. Rabbi Yochanan HaSandler, that's his name, and we give it to him as a title. Rabbi Yochanan the shoemaker. Rabbi Meir was a sofer. Rabbi Menashe, the Gemara says in Bava Metzia Daf Samach Tes, he was like a shepherd. Like a shepherd, maybe even less. He would raise animals. Rabbi Akiva, before he became the great Rabbi Akiva, his living was by collecting wood and selling it. Shammai, you know the story of Shammai, where the person came to him and told him, Lamdeni kol haTorah kula regel achas. It says he pushed him away with a ruler. Why does he have a ruler? So the Mefarshim say Shammai was a builder. That was a builder's ruler. Shmuel was a doctor. So I'm bringing you all these examples. Shimon Hapkuli, the Gemara Rashi says in Megillah, he used to sell wool. So we see that there's nothing to make an honest kosher living if it's a past, if it was proper for these Tanoim and the Meroim, because by that they fulfill that it will be mashkachas ovain, and it won't be betela, the limit of Torah. Of course, it's possible for anybody who sees that he's struggling, just being a whole day al Torah v'al he should really find a job to be able to support his family, because then the Torah will be more secure by him.